Personally, I do have my own personal boundaries.
Which are?
Well, as a result of now having a wife and her reactions, I like to avoid bedroom scenes. Don't want to be discussing being hit by flying sufurias as I enter the house just because she saw that episode, you know.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. My name is Chepto Ekboyo. We are currently in season 5, and our guest in episode 2 is Arabron Osanya. He is an actor and a voiceover artist. Welcome, Arabron.
Thank you so much.
I am really glad you're here.
Okay.
Karibu tu sana.
Thank you so much.
I'm honored. That is the best word. Being honored to have such a veteran in my podcast.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, you're most welcome. I'm glad you're honored. I feel like I'm just an ordinary person. So, you know, when people say they're honored, it makes me feel special. So
you are so special. So, Arabron,
yes,
I read on an article
that
you are half African American, half Kenyan.
That's true.
Tell us more about that.
I don't know if there's much more to say, but my mother, who is the one from New York, was unfortunately, she passed away some years ago. She and my father met when they were in university. I don't know which one. I know my father went to Indiana State University, so that must have been where they both were. And I suppose we can say the rest is history.
So met in New York or in Kenya?
No. They definitely met in the U.S. In fact, I don't even think they met in New York. I believe they met in Indiana, as I just said. I don't have all the facts. I mean, I can always go and confirm and then come back for another interview.
Yeah.
But yeah, they more or less, they met in campus. And like I said, the rest is history, because they never gave me the blow-by-blow of exactly, you know, how it happened and how it went down. My mother is from a family known as the Schomburgs. Now, the Schomburg family comes from that would be my great-great-grandfather. Anyway, in New York, there's a Schomburg Plaza. His name was Alfonso Arturo Schomburg. And, well, he was academician. He went very far in his education, wrote a lot of books highlighting, what can I say, highlighting the history of the African people, and also bringing out the positive about being African as opposed to the negative, which is mostly what we get in the world. So that's the family that I come from the New York side. Then from the Kenyan side, my father's name was Arthur Elfas, never used that name though, Osanya-Nyyneque. He went to the United States, like I said, to study Indiana State University. He came back this way. Okay, he had his first children, because I have a twin sister. So I'm actually the second born.
I didn't know you're a twin.
Yes, I am. I have a twin sister. She was born 7 minutes before me. She's in New York along with because I then have 2 brothers, 6 years younger than me, also twins.
Oh,
yes.
Twin family.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
By the way, it was interesting growing up with twin siblings, okay? So I can't say I really know, but I do have sort of an idea what it's like for a lady who has twins, because like when they were growing up, sometimes you couldn't always be with your sister to help you out. So sometimes you're like, okay, look after the boys, I'll be back. And immediately she'd leave. One boy would go to the left and the other one would go to the right. And there I am, a young man about 7 years old, wondering, now what do I do?
How do I handle this?
Yes, exactly. But so I know handling twins growing up can be difficult. What can I say? I didn't want to use the word challenging. I think is the right word. Yeah, challenging. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What else can I say about that?
How did you end up in Kenya?
Oh, well, because my father is a Kenyan, he was doing diplomatic work. Now, okay, let me go back a bit. Because, the period between his being in university and then him getting employed, of course, I'm maybe completely in the dark. Okay. But he worked worked for the government. I know by the time I could remember, he was in foreign affairs. Then after that, of course, he went to the United States to work in the UN. So now that's kind of like from the time I start remembering how life was as a child and growing up and that kind of a thing. So, yeah, he was there as a diplomat. So I suppose for my mother, not the children, she had the advantage of being in the United States, but living as a diplomat in the US. You understand? So she was having fun. The rest of us, the children, I suppose we were just growing up as ordinary children. Yeah, exactly. Then the part of my life I do remember is when my father went to be the Assistant Secretary General of the OAU. It's called the AU nowadays. That was in Addis Ababa. And then we went to an American school there. So I could say a lot of my upbringing was American. I don't take it as an advantage or a disadvantage. I mean, Americans are Americans, Kenyans are Kenyans, and everybody else is wherever they come from.
Wherever they are.
Yes. I don't know, is there anything else I should say? Because, I could go on and on about
I want that heritage. Part when now you settled and decided Kenya is for you.
Oh, settled and decided Kenya is for me. Okay, at some point, of course, if you're a diplomat, you have to come home.
Yes.
Okay? So we came home. I went to school up to Form 4. And then a little bit after that, once again, my father went to do work outside of the country. I'm not quite sure where, because I didn't really follow it up. By that time, I was at an age where I was really excited about, okay, it's me now. Okay, my life is about to take off. You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't know, because my twin sister, she really had this urge to live in the US. She really wanted to go to the US. I never really had that urge to go to the US. I suppose as a result of one or two experiences I had, not necessarily in the US. So she was the first one. She went to the US. Then, of course, after my father went to do his diplomatic service elsewhere, he went with my two younger brothers, who in turn settled in the United States. So of the 4 children, I am the only one here in Kenya, enjoying the tropical climate on the equator.
Do you miss them?
Oh, I do, most definitely. I do miss them, yes. And we do communicate. And, nowadays, I don't know, with these modern phones, you guys can talk and see each other and that kind of thing. I'm not a very communicative person, so I don't stay in touch a lot. But when I see my siblings, for example, supposing any one of them or any combination of them or all of them flew into the country, from the moment after the, hi, how are you doing? You'd think we've been together all our lives, every single day, because we pick up like nothing ever happened. There was never a gap. So, yeah, that's nice. Yes. So it seems that regardless of how far away we are from one another, we're actually connected.
The connection. Yeah. Wow. So when you started acting, what attracted you to this industry? And how did that start?
According to my father, it started from the moment I was born. Because this is what I hear. I popped out, second one. Obviously, I was like comfortable in there. I was like, no, you go. Okay, you go. And if everything's good out there, let me know. I'll come after you, okay? I don't really know how it goes.
For 7 whole minutes.
Yeah, for 7 whole minutes. I hung in there. It's like, no, let me stay here. And then. So anyway, my father tells me that when I popped out, the first thing I did was to open my mouth and cry. So to me, I presume that was my first performance. I didn't. Okay, the doctor still had to slap me because it's actually removing fluid and stuff like that. But I cried out before I was slapped. So I cried. Then I got the smack on the butt. But no, the first time I can actually remember acting per se was when I was in a school in Addis Ababa called Bingham Academy, and we did a play about Noah's Ark. I ended up acting Ham. There must have been some sort of like a skin color dilemma there, because Ham was known to be black. Black, you understand? But yeah, I played the role of Ham. I came out rather well. It was a musical, so I also had to sing. Cannot sing nowadays. I suppose I could when I was younger. Can't sing nowadays. But yeah, it was a musical, and I would say that's my first memorable experience in acting. But I know I used to do all those reciting of things and what might have you when I was in kindergarten and things like that. But I do know that, like in school, I don't know if that's an American system or everyone does it, but there were times when we were studying, they didn't call it literature, but there would be a book, and then each student has a book. So one person maybe would read the text, and then people would be given certain characters. So when it goes to, and Peter said, whoever is Peter then, takes it. And I was, me. I was always the first one to want to be one of the characters. So I don't know, maybe I was born loving acting, that kind of thing. But whenever I watched TV, for example, because whenever I watch TV, I'd watch TV and look at this thing, and inside me, without asking, I'd think, okay, it's real, but there's something about this that's not real. And I couldn't figure it out as a child. And I did know that when I get older, I need to figure this thing out, because I picked this thing up very quickly. This guy died the other day on TV.
But you're seeing another
But then
program.
here he is again. And so I picked up very quickly as a child and realized there's something about this that's real, but then again, it's not. And I really wanted to figure out what that was. So maybe that's what drew me in that direction. It had nothing to do with fame or anything. I mean, I understood the kind of fame that actors got, performers as a whole, but that's not what I was looking for. You see? So I would say that's really what interested me. Now that you've asked me, because I've had to stop and think about it for the first time in my life. But yes, it was that time when I used to watch TV, and I used to wonder, how do they do this? Because that guy died. I mean, he died. We saw the blood. We saw everything. But then here he is again in another program. So he couldn't have died.
Playing a different role.
You see, so once I figured out what it was and realized, this is acting, and this is what acting is about, and this is how it goes, I suppose the rest is history, as you can say.
I know a lot of guys really loved you on Mother-in-Law. And
yes.
When they see your face, they just go directly to Mother-in-Law.
It's true.
But what other projects did you do before that?
Other projects. Okay, I started on stage. And stage acting is the best acting in the world. Let me just tell you, it's better than TV. Well, let me say camera, because TV, film is really more or less the same thing. So in terms of acting, I started in theater. Theater is always the best form of acting. Now, the reason I say that is you have got to rehearse your character and get it all right. Once it hits opening night, that's it. If you make a mistake on that stage, you have to figure out how you're going to get around it, come back to what you're supposed to be doing, and keep going. Because on stage, there's no, okay, stop, cut, let's do that, take two. Now this time, no.
There's no.
Theater is when you start, it's now a whole hour and a half, depending on how long it is. And there you go. And what I really like about theater is the interaction between me on stage and the audience. There's always that electricity from the audience to me to the audience. I hope other actors feel the same way.
And you can actually gauge them if they are really loving it or not, depending on the response.
I'm glad you said that. Because you see, in theater, and I don't know why this happens, but it seems that everybody of a particular type of character turns up on one day.
Yes.
Now, if it's a comedy, the people who want to laugh and basically do nothing but laugh usually turn up opening night. Let me just tell you. Second night, you always get the intellectuals who've come to get the story, So you do something in opening night, people laughed, and you had to pause a little bit until the laughter goes down so you can continue. Tonight, you hit the same joke and go,
it's too hard.
And you have to you really have to be careful. You have to concentrate, because for some actors, it can throw you off, and you start wondering, whoa,
what changed?
Why did they laugh today? But if you do that, it then affects your performance negatively as you go. So I had to learn. Stick to your character, stick to the story, do your thing, do it to the best of your ability, regardless of how the audience reacts. And sometimes, usually with the intellectual ones, it's at the end. Oh, they will applaud the longest, they'll stand up, give you a standing ovation and all of that. Whereas the ones who laughed, they'll still give you huge applause, but, remain seated. So each audience has their own character as well. So, that dealing with the different characters of the audiences and all, I really enjoyed that, because nothing is always the same.
Yeah. Yep. Mother-in-law.
Yes.
Why do you think the show was so successful?
Oh, I see. Wow. Okay, Mother-in-law, the show was successful, number one, I would say, because it's local. It's Kenyan, okay? And then the story. Now, I've never had to deal with a mother-in-law in my life. I mean, I have.
But not to that.
But not like that. I can talk to my mother-in-law and whatnot. She's never, ever really gotten in the way of how I relate with my wife and all. But you see, that story of the mother-in-law and the way mother-in-laws behave, that was very relevant to everyone, not only in Kenya, but all over the world.
Yeah.
I don't know if they watch Mother-in-Law all over the world. But I think that's one reason why it became so popular. Yeah. The writing as well, the stories. Oh, I'm telling you, when we started Mother-in-Law, those stories were just out of this world, if I can put it.
They hit home.
Oh, you just read the script and you're like, wow, when can I get in front of the camera? When can I get in front of the camera to perform this? So that was another thing. The writing was very good. And I don't know, there was also a certain energy that we had on set, particularly when we were starting the first season and all that. And then from there, I suppose it just continued to be popular. Plus, it's always showed on Sunday at 7:30, and I think that's like the ultimate slot you can
prime
get.
Time.
Sunday, 7:30. Yeah, that's another reason. The timing also. But yeah, in general, the actors were also very good. The actors today still are good. I mean, some have gone, some have come back, some some went completely. But in general, I'd say the quality of the acting in Mother-in-Law is good. Yep.
I saw you on, not you in person, you the character, as the wizard on Terrorstorm.
Terrorstorm.
Beautiful animation film.
Thank you.
And I don't know why it wasn't nominated for Oscars, though it was submitted. But
yes,
I was crossing my fingers for that one to be nominated. Not even win, but let it just be nominated for it to be, get the exposure.
Yes. No, you see, that was the idea. That was the idea. I mean, animation in the US it's advanced. I mean, they've gone so far. They've got CGI and all sorts of things and all sorts of forms of animation that they can do. This was like our first 3D animation in Kenya.
Yes.
So I didn't anticipate that it would be nominated, though I did cross my fingers, obviously. But yeah, I thought that Andrew Kagia, who was the animator, who is the animator. I thought he did a wonderful job.
An amazing job.
You see, and then since we got to see the pictures, did we really get to see the pictures before or after? Anyway, I don't remember.
I saw it on the premiere.
Oh, you saw it the premiere. Yeah. Okay, I mean, when we went to record, fortunately, and I don't know why they did that, they decided I would be the last person to record. So I took the time that other people were recording to pace up and down with my script and keep going through it again and again and again, which gave me an opportunity to keep thinking about this wizard and how the kind of person he is. And if this is the person he is, how would he express this thing? Plus, because of the wizard and who he is, he also had to be intimidating.
Yes.
But while being intimidating, though, he had to be also somebody who, can I say, mesmerized you? And he kind of kept you in one place, like, okay, this guy's threatening me, but I can't move. I actually want to hear what he says next. That's the kind of idea that was going through my head as I was learning my lines. You understand?
Yes.
Then I always believe that once you're performing, even the dialogue must be dramatic. You can't be dramatic in your movements. You can't be dramatic in the expressions on your face, and then your words come out flat. So I was really working on dramatizing. You know, Swahili is not my first language. So Swahili, I kind of have to go through it first before I voice it or anything. So I say that helped. The fact that I was the last one and I was able to go through what I was going to say again and again and again. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. How long did the project take from start to finish?
Oh dear. I mean, Andrew Kage would be the best because, you know, being the animator, he'd be able to say how long did it take to, first of all, come up with the characters. So he's got to draw them on paper in such a way that the character kind of like comes off the page. Then, of course, he had to come up with the story somehow, whether he wrote it or someone else wrote it. Then after that, generating the characters and getting them to move is a process in itself, which of course Andrew would be more conversant with. I don't really know what animators go through. But I know he must have worked on it for, he did mention, I can't remember. But it was enough time, months, a year, if who knows, okay? But then once again, it's not only that time. Sometimes he wouldn't sleep. You know, animating is not the easiest thing in the world. It's fantastic once you see the end product. But it takes a lot of work, a lot of concentration, cutting yourself off from the rest of the world, which he went through. And
he came up with an awesome product.
Oh, it was awesome, yes.
Yeah. When people watch Terrastorm and recognize you as the wizard, what kind of feedback do you get?
Well, so far, for the people who recognized me, they say they really liked it. Now, I don't know sometimes whether people are just saying that because they've bumped into you or they really liked it. But, you know, so far the response has been positive. Yeah, very positive. In fact, at the premiere, I went with my son. I have a son, he's studying psychology, but he's also very interested in production. So I went with him, and when he watched it, was like, wow, the wizard was just the best. And I told him, no, you're saying that because you're my son. He said, no. Honestly speaking, no, I just thought, you were
the wizard was the best,
and my children are very honest with me. By the
They're
way,
if
I do a production and I didn't quite, they're not going to sit there. Oh, you did not. No, they'll be like, oh, no, man. You know, surely, I mean,
I love their honesty.
No, I like it too. I try to bring my children up to have a what can I say? I wouldn't say free spirit. Well, free spirit, yes, but I like them. Form your own opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have your own mind.
I don't want to force anything on you. I don't want to indoctrinate my children. Go out there, learn. This is the world where I can guide you. I will, but I would prefer that my children develop their own nuances, their own opinions. You know, that kind of thing. So, you know, sometimes in the house you'd be shocked if you came, because you'd be wondering, wow, they talk to their father like that. Yeah, because it's almost like we're in a discussion. You understand? And they're giving their opinion. They're really standing by their opinion and their point of view and everything. And it's not an argument. It's just a deep discussion. Though I'm concerned about my eldest boy. I think he's reading too many things about, like, what can I say? Outside of the norm, you know, astrology, spirituality. And then again, he's doing psychology. Maybe that's why. But maybe he needs to slow down on the literature. Just study your psychology, and then when you get older, maybe. But that's what I mean, you know, even when I'm dealing with my children, I'm very open. Because I really like them to be able to speak to me. Did something happen to you? Tell me about it. Do you feel a particular way? Tell me about it. Because even we, bringing up our children, I mean, there are things we do. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
So there must be things we do that our children don't appreciate, which maybe affect them later on in life. I'd like my children to be able to come to me one day and say, you know, they call me Papa, the Hispanic way, or Pops is the way they like to say it. So, you know, I'd like them to come say, hey, Pops, you know, this is my opinion on ABCD. Or you remember the other day when you did this, that. I didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable because of... I mean, I like that. Doesn't mean I'll change. I may put my foot down and tell the child, okay, great, I'm glad that's your opinion. But it will be like that every time, okay? So that they too understand, yes, there are certain things in life which are and will always be. Then there are other areas where you can have your opinion and maybe shift and shape things the way you like.
Yeah. Talking about the character.
Yes.
The wizard.
Yes.
Who is very authoritative and all that. And I heard about an incident that happened to you on the set of Connor, being this authoritative character, serious, that you scared an actor off the set. Do actors find you intimidating?
Okay, before I answer that, how do these stories get around?
They do get around.
I mean, where did you get that from? I mean, I know I talk about it because it was, okay, first of all, it was, I mean, I was surprised. I was shocked. I've never seen it before. So, yes, that's why I talk about it. And I've talked about it for 10 years because it's 10 years since we did Kona. But, yes, I played a very intimidating character. His name was Abasi. He was a boxing promoter who had been a boxer, but got injured and was unable to continue with the sport. So he got into promoting. Terrible character, terrible. Let me tell you, because it may come up, maybe I shouldn't say it now, but if anyone ever asked me, which was your favorite character you've ever played on TV, and I would say it is Abasi. Now, about this young man. In the mornings, you know, we used to go over our scenes, you know, just to be sure what we're saying, what we're doing, you know, and so on and so forth. So we were rehearsing with this young man. And the director at the time, who was Victor Gatonye, told him, young man, I'd just like to let you know, just ahead of time, okay? You see him? He's not in wardrobe. He's drinking his tea. We're not supposed to have tea on set, but hey, sorry guys. I was having my tea, saying he's there, he's drinking his tea, and he seems calm. He told the young man, but I just want to get you ready. Once he's in wardrobe, once he's in character, you're going to see a totally different person. So just get ready for it. Yeah. Then came our scene. You know, I'm seated there behind my desk, always stone-faced. By the way, I wasn't always stone-faced. I was a bad guy, but a bad guy who could smile, laugh. Except that when he laughs, you realize, okay, it's nothing funny. The fact that he's laughing.
You just never know what Abisi you're getting.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, he was so unpredictable. And I don't even remember what he came in for. I think he was supposed to give me some information, and he was unable to get it or something like that. So I get angry. I mean, and whenever Abasi got angry, he didn't shout. That was the main thing about his character. He didn't shout. He just became intense. There's a way he talked to you. And I told this other character across from me, and then I told him, now get out of my office. He completely forgot that there was a door on set. See, there's a space, the technical space where the biggest space he could see is what he used to exit the set. The floor manager had to run after him because he didn't only leave the set, he was leaving the studio. He was done. He was done. He didn't want any more. And they caught up with him. It's like, where are you going? He said, no. I want nothing to do with that guy. No.
To him, it was that real.
Yes.
Wow.
Do you know I got offset, went to him, and now spoke to him the way we spoke outside. And told him, can you see the way I'm talking to you now? You know, he's still... I'm like, calm down. It's me. You remember we talked outside? We were talking about this and that. Kind of brought him back, and he was like, yes. I told him, that's me. I told him, when we go to the set, I'm acting. That's not really me, okay? Yeah. That's the person I'm acting. So everything will be okay. Nothing's going to happen to you. We are just acting. Yeah. Kiswahili, they say, shingo upande. That's how he came back to the set. So
he was like, I'm not sure. I'm just going.
Yeah, let me just do this. I mean, after all, I'm going to be paid. Okay, I don't know what he was doing. But let me tell you, we finished that scene. That boy was out of that studio. All he wanted was his money. He wanted to go. And as far as he was concerned, if this is what acting is, I don't want it.
And he wrapped his own career. The
guy, well, I don't think he wrapped his career. I mean, because, you know, of course, I mean, after that, you know, people won't let you go. They'll still stop you, talk to you, let you know, this is the way it goes, you know. The person you see is the person, but then when they play a character, they can be someone else, you know. And they did give me time after that scene to hang out with him also, you know, still in costume and everything, to try and calm him down, let him know.
Yeah.
Dude, this is just acting, okay? I don't know where he is. I don't know if I'd be able to recognize him, but I hope he recovered, and I hope he's still in acting. Yes.
Apart from that incident, do actors generally find you intimidating?
Now, when you say actors, you mean when they meet me as me, or
when they meet you as on set, rather?
No, I think on set, when I'm on set, first of all, I love being on set. And I think when I'm on set, I don't know if I relax. I know I talk a lot. I talk too much. Maybe I get on people's nerves. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, when we first get on set and I'm talking to people, I can see how they respect me and put me on a pedestal, that kind of thing. But no, usually I'm very comfortable with the other actors because, I'm one of those actors who believes we need to now start working together to get into character, okay? Because if I'm going to act across from you, we need to develop a certain kind of rapport even before we go to the kind. I'm saying rapport as character. Actors, okay? Because, the two of us, we could hate each other. We cannot even stand to be in the same country. But when we get to the set, we still have to perform and get together. It right. You understand? So there has to be that period of time of your character, my character. Let's get everything together. Then we go to the set. I don't think they find me intimidating. I hope not. Not as the real me. I hope not.
The real you, I don't think so.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. But once I get into my character, oh yes. In fact, I said my favorite character to play on TV, which is good, is Abasi. On stage, I also played an equally bad character called Caligula. Caligula was the third of the 12 Roman emperors. Until today, if you Google the 10 most evil men in the world, some put him at number 1, others put him at number 3. But he's definitely one of the top 3 most evil people of all time. That one I can tell you, Caligula. Oh, and I really enjoyed that on stage. In fact, Caligula, can I tell you why I enjoyed it so much? Right. Now, you see, stage is live for everyone, the audience, you, the actor, and your fellow actor. On stage is live. It's happening now. There's no... Man, whatever happens now. I don't know how else to put it. Now, there was a point in that play, and let me tell you the truth, I played that thing. I mean, you'd see us laughing and joking with each other before. But the moment we were on stage, my fellow actors were afraid of me. If I even looked at one of them, I thought they'd melt. So on stage, what I liked so much, and because the character I was playing is so unpredictable, I even warned them. I don't know, how do I explain it to you? How? Can I give you one particular scene?
Yes.
A small scene very quickly. This is a scene where he's with his army people who are like ministers, government people. And he used to have this bad habit of always putting them in a threatening position. They always knew, if I say something wrong, if I do anything wrong, I'll be killed. So in the scene, in the script, it says, I would advise you people to leave by the door on the right, because I've placed soldiers at the door on the left with instructions to kill you. So obviously everybody rushes to the door on the right.
Yes.
But I warned them. I told them, by the way, when we are performing, one day I'll say left, one day I'll say right. I don't know, one day I'll say left and right. So, you know what I mean? Something, you guys just be on toes. And they used to enjoy it. Because one day I say, I'd advise you to use the door on the right. The other day I said, I'd advise you to use the door on the left. Now there's one show I said, I'd advise you to use the door on the right, on the left, because I have soldiers at the other with instructions to kill. And these guys they
became confused,
bumping into each other on the stage. And there I am, and I'm in character. There I'm sitting there and I'm laughing because I'm enjoying what I have done as an actor, and I'm enjoying what I have done in character. So that's the kind of character I played. Caligula, I think he's the worst of the worst of the worst. Abasi would be number 2, and number 3 would be Amigo from 40 Sticks, although nobody knows him as Amigo. They only know him as Afande Kipara.
Yes,
because his name was never used. The entire movie, no one ever called Amigo by name. No. So it was either Afande or Afande Kipara, that kind of thing. So, people knew me as Afande Kipara. And it's interesting because, people say, oh, that was a bad guy. Oh, you scared us. And I thought, when I was playing the character, I thought, okay, he's a bad guy, but...
You know, you are Afande, who is a bad guy.
Yes.
With other bad guys who are this wafungwas.
Yes.
With very strong looking faces. But
Yes.
still, you are more scary than this, what do you call, prisoners.
Yeah. I see, was I?
Yes, you
What
are.
I was trying to do was deliver authority in an intimidating manner
Yeah.
to the prisoners. That was the idea I had in my head. Yes. There's certain aspects of acting maybe we should talk about. I don't know, because, we seem to be going this way, that way, and I know you have your specific questions. Maybe I'm taking you off the direction you wanted to go. But you see, before we did 40 Sticks, we actually had a 1-week workshop. Now, the workshop was really more for the action scenes, because you have to learn how you throw a punch without hitting your fellow actor, who in turn has to make it look like they were hit and that kind of thing. But also, in that workshop, which most people don't do, but you need to, now each character had to come up with a backstory. From the day you were born to now where you are in the script.
Becoming a fan.
Yes, which I did. Now, in my backstory, I was also trying to figure out, okay, there are these psychological things that happen in life that bring you to and that's what I built for myself. And let me tell you, when you're acting, your impulse is to be you.
Yeah.
You've got to think about becoming the other character.
Becoming a fan.
And believe you me, there was this one, because we shot mostly at night. This is one night, I'm sitting in the van before we shoot, and I'm thinking, wow, I can't get this character. What has happened to the, ooh. And I tried, and I'm thinking, I can't get this character. And I thought to myself, okay, 5 minutes, let me go over my backstory. So I put my head down like this and shut my eyes. When I looked up like this again, I was in character 100%.
Wow.
Because I just took the backstory from my birth, the way I built it, up to where I was, and when I opened my eyes, that was it. And I don't know, and then you see here, let's go back to what you asked me about my fellow actors being intimidated. Now, of these actors, the prisoners, many of them, particularly Robert Agengo, I had known from way back. Bilal Mwaura, I didn't know him as well as Agengo, but I knew him. I knew Kajetan, the brown boy. We had met once or twice. And I don't know, we talked. I kind of felt like I knew him a little bit before we started acting. So, your question, Offset, I felt like these guys really liked me a lot. In fact, it reached a point whereby my name is being called by so many people. I'm thinking, oh my goodness gracious. And I said, Arabron. Everybody wants to ask a question or say something, something like that. But the moment I put on my wardrobe and I buttoned up that last button of the prison warder, that friendliness disappeared immediately. And they just took me as a totally different person.
Wow.
Yep.
Respect to your characters.
Yes. Yeah, exactly, yes.
Now, looking back at Caligula, Abasi, and now Afande, these are very dark kind of characters.
Yes.
Does it affect you personally?
It does.
Okay. In what way?
Me, other actors, I don't. No, it affects me personally. Okay. Now, let's take Caligula, for example. Because Caligula actually lived, there was a time during rehearsals when now it became intense for me, and I was thinking, okay, now this is the time to really get into character. So even in rehearsal, I'm going to rehearse it like it's the final show. It may sound strange, but I felt like Caligula's spirit actually came to help me out. It's like, this is how I would have done it. So, wow, I don't know what to say about that. I really did. Then when the play was over, it's like it also just vanished. Gone. It's like, left me. But Caligula was one of those shows, let me tell you, after it ended, I think I was sick for a week. No, it's because it was so intense, and then, and I don't know, that taught me something that I call the wind down. I realized, when you do theater, because it's so intense and you have to keep your character continuously, after your final show, the worst thing to do is just disconnect, pap, like a switch. It's really...
Like it didn't happen.
Man, it affected me. I was like, wow, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. And I mean, your mind can make your body sick and that kind of thing. But I think we should have had a wind down. Like even after the final show, next day, let's still turn up, kind of still go through maybe a few exercises, and then you wind it down, down, back to like now, it's like we didn't even start the show yet.
Wow, that is interesting. The way you build him up is the same way you should do after.
Build your character down. Yes. I do personally believe that. Abasi, my family kept on asking me, what's wrong with you? Why are you talking to us like that? Why are you behaving like that? And I always let me tell you the truth. At the end of the day, I always tried as much as possible. The moment I've taken off my wardrobe and I've put back on my home clothes and I'm leaving, because we did it at Super Sport, when I'm exiting that gate, I always felt like, okay, Abbas is over there now, I'm going home. But because we shot for a year, I think there was a point at which now my real character and Abbas's character kind of merged into one, So sometimes at home I would behave as if I was Abasi without even realizing it, So, yeah.
So it has to be your children and your wife checking you like,
oh, yes.
Go back. This is not you.
Yes. I think my children are better at it than my wife. My wife just withdraws. Or
maybe it's like, this man has a certain attitude. He's dealing with something.
No. My wife, since I was acting, ever since we met, of course, now it was more difficult initially when I was getting into character, because then she'd wonder, why is he not behaving like himself? No. But by the time, I was doing Caligula, I think she understood, even though you just say Caligula in front of her and you see how she would be shocked.
The show that almost took my husband.
Yeah, I don't know what. Well, we were just about to, she was my girlfriend at the time, and we were living in the same house. And I remember after the show, and she came and watched an afternoon show, not even an evening show. So I come from backstage, she's waiting for me, and then she sees me, and I approach her, and I see her take 3 steps back. And I wonder, why is she doing that? So, of course, I go towards her again, and then, she kind of freezes in one place. I'm wondering, why is she behaving like this? Then at some point, now, as I got closer to her, she just put her hand out and told me, no, stop.
I need some time.
She didn't say that. But
she didn't say, stop. But it's...
And I didn't realize at the time it's actually my character that was affecting her.
Yeah.
She just told me, no, stop. We'll talk at home. And she turned and went. I was left there baffled, wondering, why all that? Now, when I got to the house after the evening show, and I entered, the first thing she did was look at me and go, are you all right? Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I've come from the show, okay? She says, yeah, but you're all right. Yeah, I'm all right. Goes, okay. But you're, now I'm thinking, man, 3 times? She's never done so. I must say, what is wrong? Why do you keep asking me if I'm all right? She told me, no. She told me, you never do things like that. She said, that definitely was not you. I told her, yeah, it wasn't. It was Caligula. She was like, no, you shouldn't do plays like that. I don't want you to do a play like that ever again. But so it really affected her in that way. Once I had children, it affected them. But my children, I sat down and tried to explain to them, listen, when I'm acting, I'm a different character, ABCD, ABCD. The one character they will always remember is Abasi. Let me just tell you the truth. The guy in corner, they'll always remember him.
Do you have boundaries on what you cannot do on TV or stage?
I do. Yes, personally, I do have my own personal boundaries.
Which are?
Well, as a result of now having a wife and her reactions, I like to avoid bedroom scenes. Don't want that. Don't want to be discussing being hit by flying sufurias as I enter the house just because she saw that episode,
Yeah.
Things like that. Then there are these issues in life. I suppose I'm going to have to say it openly. Like, I would not act a gay character, a gay person. All right? Not because I have any issue or I have anything against someone who is gay. Like I said, I believe everybody has their opinion. You're you. You do whatever you're going to do.
Be you.
I will respect you for that. But if there's anything about me that you don't particularly subscribe to, or the other way around, let's just leave that out of how we relate. You understand? Yeah. So when I say that I would never play a gay character, I'm not afraid of touching another man. I'm not. What's this thing they say? Are you homophobic? Or is that the word homophobic?
Yes, homophobia.
I know who I am. I believe in myself. I know what I stand for, and nothing's going to change that. You understand? Besides, when I did Caligula, there was like a gay scene anyway, which I did. But, that's a story for a different day. The reason why I would not play a gay character is because I don't understand it. I have to understand what I'm acting to make it real. And because I don't understand what being homosexual or gay is, what inspires you, where does it start, what is its source, what's the inspiration, how then am I going to portray it? Because then I'll end up portraying idiosyncrasies that I don't understand. You understand? Like people say, oh, they hold their hand like this. So I'll hold my hand like this, but I won't understand. Why is my hand like this? What makes them... You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll ever be able to understand it one day, but there are a number of people, even in Hollywood, who've acted gay characters and convinced people they are, and they are not, and
totally
will never be.
not. Yeah. So now that the industry is expanding,
yes,
and we're having acting coaches,
yes,
and you also being one.
Well, not really, but yes.
But somehow you do something like that.
Yes.
If you could get an acting coach who could teach you to be gay, will you take that role?
Wow, interesting question. No one's ever asked me that, and I've never thought about that before. That's interesting. And I get a person who can, let's say
this acting coach is gay and breaks down everything that the gay people do, what it means, why they do it, and all that, and offers you the character. Will you take it?
Well, I'll answer as per the way you have asked the question. Yes, if I had somebody who could coach me in it, explain to me, actually from the inside coming out, I wouldn't mind trying once. And after that, let's see. Just so long as... You see, the other thing is, you act things, people see you, they don't know you in real life. So the other thing is, would I really want people to bump into me in the street as me and assume I'm gay? Which really, at the end of the day, is none of their business. I'm not gay, I was acting. Okay, now you've given me a challenge. I've really got to sit down and think about it. I really need to sit down and think about this thing properly. Yeah.
They call you in the industry the guy with $1 million voice.
Oh, they do?
Yes. At least from the people who have interacted and you've done voiceovers.
Okay, guys out there, this is the guy with the $1 million voice.
Yes.
Anyone ready to pay the $1 million? I'm happy. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I haven't been paid $1 million for my voice yet. Yeah.
I think you should. You should be paid.
Yeah, I believe so too. Yeah. But anyway, life is what it is.
How many voiceovers have you done so far? Approximate.
Let's put it this way. I started doing voiceovers in 19... What year is that? Wow, I said this thing once and I got the year wrong.
Early 90s?
It can't be 97 because 97 would mean I've only been there how long?
Like almost 30, almost 20 something?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'd say maybe I did for about 20 something years, 20. Let's round it off at 20, somewhere there.
I think it's past 20.
Let's do it.
Let's do 25.
Maybe
25.
I'd say I don't know. I don't do voiceovers much nowadays. Particularly after 2020, now there's this excuse, after 2020, we don't have the budgets we used to have. And for me, there's a certain amount I'm going to charge. You're not going to come to me and start telling me, by the way, you don't have money, kindly do this VO for 10,000 shillings. I mean, why would I do that? I do the voiceover for 10,000 shillings, and then the client goes out and makes tens of millions.
Millions, yeah.
And now that you've mentioned voiceovers, it is an industry that is still, till today, unknown.
Yeah.
Now there's a lady called Jennifer Canary. She runs the Voice Actors League of Kenya. She's really done a lot to try and streamline the voiceover industry for the voiceover artists, get them opportunities to voice internationally, workshops for them to learn how to use your voice, how do you voice over different things. Because the way you'd voice over an exciting voiceover, a call to action, is different from the way you'd voice something when it's Valentine's and you want them to come to your lounge and have a good time with your partner. You understand? So you really so so she's managed to have workshops to get people to understand the differences and how to control your voice, because it's also in your breathing. Because I've noticed how a number of people that have got great voices, but then when they come to the mic, they don't really understand how to breathe, how to take in the breath, hold it, and as you speak, when to then take in the next breath. That does disturb a lot of people, and Jennifer's done a good job in workshopping people to get them to understand these things. But as usual, with everything that's artistic in Kenya, we have a long way to go to get the government to recognize us and give us what we actually should be paid and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. So for these 25 years, you didn't tell me approximately how many voiceovers.
I don't know. How can I put a number to it? I'm not sure. It would be easier for me to mention the products I have never advertised, although I don't know which ones they are, as opposed to which ones I have. I mean, you understand? Because we're not paid retainers. Okay? Oh. So what happens is you're given a release form, which is not a contract. It's just a release form whereby you are allowing these people to use your voice. Yeah. But it is not a contract that says specifically, these are the parameters, blah, blah, this is how we'll handle your voice and all that. No, we don't have that. Okay. So this is what happened with me. I mean, if you just do one product, let me go to the Coca-Cola company. I hope that's okay. No,
it's okay.
There was a time, I don't know if Coca-Cola realized it, I was the voice of Fanta, I was the voice of Coke, and I was the voice of Sprite all at the same time. Now, I developed a particular voice, a particular delivery for each
particular product.
So the fact that I would change my voice a little bit, then, of course, there's always your sound engineer who also there are things he can do with the...
Tweak it.
Yeah, tweak it to make you sound slightly different. Things like that, yeah. So there'd be a Fanta ad, some other ads in between, Sprite, some other Coke. And unless you had a really keen ear, you wouldn't actually be able to realize it was me. See, so I did multiple brands, even competing brands, but made sure I always did something distinctly different so that you wouldn't say, oh, but that's a Standard Chartered ad and I heard him on KCB. You understand? Which did happen at some point. I think I did do 2 different banks or something, but I distinctly changed my delivery and distinctly changed how I used my voice to get away with it. Yeah. So when you come to how many I've done, wow.
Those are big.
Yeah, I'd say it's a large
companies.
Number. 1,000. I don't know. Maybe, oh gosh, how would I ever be able to remember? Because even some of the studios I recorded at have closed. And then would they be willing to now go through their records and say, okay, let's see, how many ads did you do in this year? I don't
They're
think
not going to do that.
No.
And how did you get into voicing? Because I didn't ask you about that. Was it accidental? Did someone recognize your voice?
I'd say someone recognized my voice. His name is Edward Quach.
Okay.
Edward Quach one day got in touch with me. He told me, oh, you have a very good voice. And at the time, I think they had just formed a management company for voice artists. Suggested I go for voice casting, which I did. Didn't expect to get anything, but after that, I was called, and one led to the next, and so on and so forth. If not for Edward Quach, I don't think I'd ever gotten into the voiceover industry.
Wow. Big up to Edward Quach.
Big up to Edward Quach.
And Jennifer Kirina?
Jennifer Canary.
Jennifer Canary.
Yes.
How can guys find Jennifer Canary? Because I think there are so many voice artists.
Yes, who would like to
join the industry.
Okay. Wow. I wish I had expected to be asked that question, because I don't know if she'd appreciate me giving out her number so publicly. But anybody who's interested in voicing should actually get in touch with Jennifer, because then they will join the Voice Actors League of Kenya, who have a structure. Because you are a beginner, they know how, we'll take you from being a beginner to the next stage, and then progress you from there, and help also regulate how much you're paid.
Yeah. So guys, I think just search her on social media, Jennifer Canary, inbox her, then she will give you all the details. Jennifer Canary,
for sure. I know she's definitely on Facebook. I don't know. See, I'm not a social media geek myself. I don't know anything about social media. I only started posting on social media at the premiere of Faithless. And then it's not really me, it's actually my daughter.
She was like, Dad, you have to be in this thing.
She did. She was like, no, you have to. I was like, come on. I've never. She's like, do this. Give me your IG account, because I'm on Instagram, but all I ever do is follow other people. Okay.
Follow people and see other people's stuff.
Great. I don't put a like, I don't comment or anything, and it's okay. And so she took my IG account, and I think for 2 weeks, I told her she only needs to do it for about 2 weeks. She was doing some posting which people have liked, but then it's also kind of slowed down, because that excitement period around Faithless has kind of
died down.
I wouldn't say it's died down. People are still excited, but that marketing, that people really looking for stuff on social media and all.
Yeah.
We were told usually it's a week before you premiere, and then 2 weeks after. So I think it's about 2 weeks now.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
But I know today's episode 4 of Faithless, so maybe it's been a bit longer. My concept of time sometimes.
Between acting,
yes,
and your job at doing VOs,
yes,
which one would you say has sustained your life in terms of payments?
Voiceovers.
Voiceovers,
for sure. Yes. Even though we are grossly underpaid, every artist is grossly underpaid, okay? So I'm speaking for all artists, okay? Even though I'm now speaking as a voice artist. But now I can say, though we are grossly underpaid, I mean, you could be paid something that you could say is a token of appreciation, because at least you can do something with it in your life if you're that kind of person. But yes, voiceovers sustained me for the longest time. I have 7 children, and it's only the last 2 that I can say it's not voiceover money that has put them through school and fed them and that kind of thing. Yep. So I'm not quite as well off now as when I was doing voiceovers. And I wasn't even well off then, but I'm struggling more now that I'm on TV. TV particularly doesn't really pay us the way it should.
And it's also not so unpredictable.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is unpredictable. Yeah, you never know when you're going to get your next job. You understand?
Or if the Faithless will be renewed, you just never know.
Yeah, we don't know yet. Yeah, whether we're going to get another season or whatever. So you see, it is unpredictable.
Yeah.
Now then, look at it also, the unpredictability. Supposing another production auditions, I go for the audition and they cast me, and then as we are shooting what we are shooting, then suddenly I'm told, oh, we are continuing with Faithless. Then it's like, oh man, now.
How do I
because I'd hate to lose Faithless. I mean, I enjoy the script, I enjoy the story, I enjoy the character. But then at the same time, if you've already gotten into another production, being in two productions at the same time, I did it once, and I'll never do it again. It is impossible, and I never want to experience that again. But it was worth a try. Yeah.
But now you know.
It was actually Second Family. You know, Second Family started shooting before Faithless, so...
So it's...
I was told, oh, it's just a small role, you're not really... And I was told, you're going to shoot about, I think I was told 48 times, or, something like that, So I thought, yeah, why don't I? And then Faithless started shooting. And before I could even figure, okay, how do I handle this? Do I tell Faithless people that I'm in Second Family?
Do I tell
but I had told the Second Family people, I'm in Faithless, and Faithless is the priority. I was very honest there with the Second Family people. But then as we started shooting, there came a time when now the schedules started to clash. Now, I personally, as me, didn't know, how do you go about this? Because I wouldn't have wanted to create a problem for either production.
Yeah.
But then came the day. I was needed on both sets at the same time. Now, of course, because Faithless is the priority, I first went and shot with Faithless. When there's a small gap, I told them, I'm just going down here. When you need me, just buzz me. But I didn't tell them I was going to Second Family.
Yeah.
You understand? Because at that time, I wondered, now what do they think if I tell them I'm leaving here to go to another production, but then when you need me, I'll leave that production, come back here to shoot. And then again, at the same time, in my head, I'm wondering, will that really work out? I mean, is it possible to run from set to set, whatever? But I thought, no, let me just do it, see what happens. And what happened was, I'm literally on set with Second Family. The first AD of Faithless is actually called on phone the first AD of Second Family. Ooh. So here the two first ADs talking.
Messy.
Okay? Now, that's the thing about production in Kenya. Don't ever think you can do anything in production secretly, okay?
The industry is too small.
And then again, also, it's just that people talk. There's no way you'll get away with it. Then they are both Showmax productions, And I wasn't trying to lie to Showmax. It's just...
You just didn't
the
tell
situation
one
I found
production.
myself in, yes. But then later on, I was sat down and told, look, the way you do this when you're in two productions is you get the two first ADs to talk. Let them talk together, and then they will figure out how to deal with your schedule in either production without them clashing. Which now, once they explained that to me, that's what I did. But initially, I was wondering, so how do you do this? How do you be in two productions at the same time and make sure that... But then my character in Second Family, well, he died. So then I was only left
way to go.
No. I mean, a character dies. Now, I would have rather continued in Second Family to the end. But it was advantageous when that happened, because then I could concentrate
on one production.
On Faithless. So in Faithless, I hope that it will turn out that in later episodes, it might be felt that, oh, wow, the pastor became... Wow, his character really began to come out more, because it's so much easier when you can concentrate on only one character. Now, let me tell you, I know I'm talking too much. I said that's my character, but this is what would happen. I decided, okay, as the pastor, I'm going to use my voice, okay? And I will speak purposefully. That's what pastors do.
Yes.
They don't rush what they say. So I thought, okay, so as the guy in Second Family, whose name was Stephen, and he's a lawyer, lawyers can talk in any way. So as Stephen, I tried to speak fast. No commas, no full stops. Oh, I met these guys in the driveway looking like they were lost. What am I supposed to do with them? Whereas as the pastor, I would have said, I found these two people looking lost in the driveway. What should I do with them? So hopefully that in itself also, and then the deeper register of my voice, I tried to give to the pastor and try and raise it slightly when I was in Second Family. Don't know if it worked. It's other people who will tell me, but and then it's confusing. So I had to attach myself to something. When I see, then I know I'm at Second Family. Whereas when I see that other thing, then I know I'm on Faithless. But then once my character in Second Family died, believe it or not, and I cried, by the way, okay?
Oh.
Oh, no. When it came to my last day of shoot for Second Family, I actually cried. And I told myself, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to be a man. And they said, okay, that's a wrap. And for you, Stephen, that's a wrap. That's it for, and I just couldn't hold it. You see? So, but like I say, it was advantageous because then I gave all my concentration to Faithless, and Faithless is actually a wonderful, wonderful production.
Yes.
Very different from Second Family. The genre is totally different also, because Faithless is drama, whereas Second Family is more a telenovela.
Yes.
It's shot as a telenovela, which is sort of like supposed to be a lot of stuff going on, and because in a telenovela, in that 30 minutes,
there's so many moving stories.
Yes, exactly. So that's Second Family, whereas Faithless is a drama that you can actually follow step by step. Yeah.
So Faithless.
Yes.
The newly launched Showmax series.
Yes.
What should guys expect?
Guys should expect suspense. You'll be kept in suspense. What you should also expect is that you'll end up following a particular character whom you like, because each character is so different, And it's a crime-based story about some 4 ladies in a church, Chama, who end up getting involved with a, what can we call him, money launderer? Thug. Let's just call him a thug. And a bad thug, not just a thug. You understand?
Yeah.
Then you still have the pastor there who brings in the spiritual aspect. And, the pastor also has a wandering eye. So his eye wandered from his wife at some point. So there's everything in there, a lot of life stories. Like, for example, in that story, here you have a pastor. Yeah. You can tell he's very dedicated to his faith and to his church. But at the same time, due to life happening, he did something outside of his marriage. Let me put it that way. I'm just trying to be politically correct. He cheated. Let's put it that way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's a very interesting story, by the way, because just when you think you figured it out, next episode you realize kumbe utajua hujui.
When I talk about all your productions,
yes.
Mother-in-Law, Corner, 40 Sticks, Terror Storm, Second Family, Faithless, which one of these shows has impacted your life the most and why?
Impacted my life the most. That's interesting. I'd say each one has impacted my life differently. Let me talk about Faithless because it's the latest one.
Yeah.
Now, I've been given the role of the pastor. Now, I don't know how other people take pastors in real life, but once I was dressed as the pastor, and because we actually shot at a church, I ended up interacting with pastors. I think there was one, they would call him bishop, so I realized, wow, this guy's senior and all. But in acting this role of the pastor and then interacting with these other people, it did suddenly strike me. Now, I've always known they're important, but acting the pastor suddenly made me realize, whoa, a pastor has a very, very important role in life, not only in the church, but in everything you do, even outside of the church, your everyday life. And it also made me realize that as a pastor, there's a lot of the temptations, if I can say, that come with life that you just have to avoid it. I mean, it's just not two ways about it. You just have to avoid it, because not only interacting with other pastors, but now interacting with congregations or members of the congregations, seeing me dressed as a pastor, now talking to me as if I am a pastor. Whoa, made me realize, oh my goodness, it's
a tough job.
It is a tough job. And imagine, this is just the tip of the iceberg, whatever I was experiencing in Faithless. But it still gave me sort of an insight to, wow, so what about when this pastor actually in real life has got to sit down and deal with people who are going to bring their problems, their own life issues to the pastor, who is a human being. Who may be going through his own things at the same time, So I don't know, it just gave me a new insight into being a pastor. And surprisingly enough, we did it at the PCEA. PCEA, they have, I don't know if it's their headquarters or their head church is in Thogoto. It's in Thogoto somewhere. Thogoto, Kikuyu. And that's where we did photo shoot. We didn't shoot the actual program there, but when we were doing the photo shoot, that's where we shot, and that's where I got to interact now more with the clergy. And wow, the clergy themselves came and spoke to me, and at some point, one gentleman just referred to me as pastor. Now, excuse me, you. I just want to remind you, I'm just acting. He goes, yeah, but he says, you have that feeling of a pastor. He says, I said, no, it's just the clothes. He said, no, it's not the clothes. He said, it's you. He said, even the way you talk. He said, the way you listen to people. And he says some few other things. He said, you are a bishop. He didn't even say pastor. He said, you are a bishop. I went, wow, you really feel me that way? He said, oh, yes. He said, oh, yes. He said, even in this short time that I've spoken to you, I would even convince you to please be a pastor in our church.
Wow.
I'm not going to be. But it was a compliment, and it really had me thinking, oh, really? I have the aura of a holy man, if you can put it that way? Interesting. Yeah.
Do you ever get starstruck?
Myself?
Yes.
Meeting other actors?
Yes.
Continuously. Oh, continuously. Even particularly the younger ones, if I may say. I'm an old man now. Let's not go into all that. I'm the young old man, as I like to tell people. No, because sometimes, I don't really act my age, and I don't want to start now, but I do get starstruck. The first time I got starstruck, unfortunately I can't remember his name, is when I was acting Wingula Moto. Now, this is something I don't know how many people I've told, but this is I don't know if it's an interesting story, but it's interesting for me. The first time I ever shot an episode of Wingula Moto was on a Saturday. I do not remember the year or anything. These things just pass nowadays so quickly. I look up one day and it's like, what?
Gone.
What? 5 years? Where did the 4 years go? That kind of thing. But in Wingula Moto, there was this gentleman who acted named Swahili, short, brown. I loved the way he delivered, the way he brought out his character. Now, this is the interesting thing. Jarul visited Kenya once. I happened to be at Radio Africa to record a voiceover when Jarul came in to the studio. So, of course, I was starstruck. Come see, I can't even say starstruck because of how it was that day. It's really short. That's the first thing that surprised me, is how short that he was. And I decided, surely, here he is. Let me just go say hi. And all I wanted to do was say hello. And these huge bouncers, And as I approached, they kind of stepped in front of him. And I look at them and man, I just want to say hi. What's up? Guys just, come into Kenya and here he is. All I want to do is say hi. They're looking down at me like this, and so they thought, anyway, he's got an American accent. So, because I purposely spoke.
You purposely put the accent.
And so, I just said hello. Didn't even reach out my hand to say hi. I just said hello to him. He looked extremely tired. He said, hi, man. Good to be in Kenya. I'm really tired. Just want to get to the hotel. I said, no, it's all right. Just wanted to say hi. He said, okay. And then they moved on. That was a Friday. The very next day, I shot Wingula Moto, and I saw this guy, and I was more starstruck by seeing him.
What was his name?
Than meeting Jarul. I wish I could remember his name. He's from the coast.
His character?
No, I don't even remember the character names, to be very honest. But we never acted across from each other in Wingula Moto. But I had watched Wingula Moto. I'd seen him. I'd also seen him in other productions before that. And I'd always thought, wow, I'd love to just meet that guy, just to tell him I think he's a brilliant. And then wow, here he is. Wow. Yeah, I've been starstruck. Who else have I bumped into and I was starstruck and they don't realize? Nini Washera. I wouldn't have shown it openly. Who else can I think of? Okay, you see, I'm purposely trying not to mention the younger ones first, so I'm trying to remember the older ones who I was starstruck meeting. Well, I would have said Raymond Ofula, but then Raymond Ofula, we were together in theater also as his career started and things like that. But now coming to the younger generation, the one person who I was really happy to meet is Brian Ogola. Yeah, when I met him, I can't say starstruck, but it was great to meet him. We did bump into each other at Selena, didn't talk much, but when I bumped into him at Second Family, that was now the opportunity we had to really talk and get to know one another and everything. And I like the way he delivers his characters, if I can say that, because definitely whoever he was in Poacher, whoever he was in Selena, definitely not who he is in Second Family.
No.
You understand? And that's really what I like about him, that he's able to actually change his character.
The chameleon.
And that's what it's supposed to be. Because we do have some actors who I'm not going to name who, whether you see them in whichever production, they're always the same thing, and that is themselves.
Yeah.
And that's one thing actors need to learn to get away from. Once you've been given a character, you cannot think, what would I do? It's got nothing to do with you. It's got everything to do with your character. So you have to think of it as like, what would my character do in this situation? Now, I was in a situation like that. It was at Kina. You know, Kina died in the first episode, at the end of the first episode. Yeah, and that was another experience in itself. But as we were shooting Kina, there was a certain gentleman who had been given a character to play. And believe me, that guy had fallen in love with that character. But then they reached a point whereby just before he went on set, he came to me to help him out and said, now, you see here, I am supposed to, and I am supposed to, so I don't know how I should react. I asked him, you mean you, or are you asking as the character? He said, no, me. I have to explain him, no, it's not about you. It's about your character. So you cannot think as you must think as your character. Then it will be easy. Because if you have to do anything that goes against your own principles as you won't do it.
Yeah.
But if it's something your character would do and you take your character, you'll do it very easily.
Yeah.
Do you know he got annoyed with me?
Or maybe he just didn't understand you.
Okay.
Maybe it will take him a while to realize what you're saying.
Okay, I never thought about that maybe he didn't quite understand what I was saying and failed to
now,
ask me to clarify.
Him telling you, it's like you're killing him, the person. You're removing him from being what he wants to be.
Okay, but
he didn't see it that far, in short.
Okay, I'll take what you have said. I'll take it that way because it surprised me. By the way, I didn't feel bad about it. I wasn't angry or anything. I was just surprised, like, whoa. He didn't understand what I meant when I'm telling him, think as your character. And by the end of the day, he was no longer in that character.
Ouch.
It happens on production. If you can't get it done, go. We'll get somebody else who can. There's no time to waste, trying to build somebody into a certain character. And yet when we were auditioning you showed that character. So what's going on? We're on set now. Can we continue, pick up where we left off? So, yeah, that kind of thing. So Brian Ogola is good at that.
Yeah.
He will interpret his character in a particular production and go for it. You see? Like I said, I'm not going to name the people who never change and are always themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there roles you turned down but regretted later?
No. I don't think I've ever turned down a role that I was given. A role that I turned down later regretted, no. Not that I can remember. No.
Now, internationally,
yes,
we see the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Yes.
The actors want more pay.
Right.
In Kenya, we have the same scenario, not the strike, but the same issues that we want to address. We want better pay, we want better treatment and all that. since I know in the Kenyan industry we cannot go the strike way, what can we do to make our industry better?
Well, the first thing we need to do is, as actors, we need to unite. And then once we're united, we need to form an actors guild. The actors guild is there. But you will ask some actors, are you a member of the guild? No. You'll ask some actors, are you a member of the guild? What guild is that? Now, it's bad to have an actors guild and you have some actors who don't even know it exists. Now, having said that, I am not a member of the guild. Okay? Not because I have anything against it or whatever. Maybe I have procrastinated for too many years. But again, at the same time, I've also not become a member of the guild because I do realize that even if I am a member, there's still so many actors out there. We need to come be members of the guild. We need to be united, even if it's not this particular guild. Even if they want to form something else. But the point is, every actor in Kenya, and don't forget normally when people talk about acting, they only think about Nairobi.
Yeah.
Forgetting that Kenya is a big country and you have actors all over the place. Like Nakuru, for example. I don't know if people realize that
it's a
Nakuru
huge
is very active.
Film hub, actually. I've been there.
Yes.
I went there with Film Commission and they're really doing big stuff.
Yes, you see. But when do we really hear about Nakuru? So you see, even the people in Nakuru and the people in Nairobi need to unite. In between Nairobi and Nakuru, are there actors there? Have we ever thought about that? Naivasha, Gilgil. Are there actors there? You understand? Then there's this whole country. Now, if this entire country could have actors under one umbrella, then now we'd be able to approach the government and say, this is what we need, A, B, C, D. Of course, meaning we as actors have also agreed in our guild stroke association before we even approach the government. Yeah, because the government is not going to listen to me. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's what you want. And what about the other actors? No one's complaining. So it goes nowhere. You understand? So what we are really lacking is the unity. We just need to develop trust. And anyway, even if we don't trust it, let's first of all just all enter the same guild. Okay? Once we're there, let's sort things out.
Yeah.
There's no need of being on the outside and saying, well, if so-and-so is the chairman, then no, so-and-so is the chairman, come, let us join. We'll sort that out when we are all in the same body. You understand?
You can always improve the guild.
Yes, exactly. But from the inside, not from the outside. Once we get all Kenyans to agree to enter one association, believe you me, it's not going to take long before things improve. Even though they did recently release a rate card that supposedly is from the government, it's not bad.
It's a decent.
It's not
It's not the best, but it's an okay.
Yeah, right. For now, I mean, honestly, if we followed that one, believe you me, I think actors would stop being seen as irresponsible and things like that. Now, you will be irresponsible if somebody holds on to your 20, 30,000 shillings for 6 months, 8 months. 8 months later, you are so frustrated that when you get your 30,000 shillings, the first thing you want to do is, at last. And many of we performers, unfortunately, relax by taking alcohol.
Yes.
Now, it's been so long. You've been struggling, walking when you could have used public transport, used public transport when you could have used a cab, used a cab when you could have bought your own car, simply because this money has delayed to the point that by the time you are exhaling, a deep exhale, alcohol makes me relax. Believe you me, that 30,000 will be like 20,000 gone.
Done.
So you wake up in the morning, then you start thinking, oh no. 15,000 was supposed to go to the landlord. Now what do we do? And that's why many actors are seen to be irresponsible.
Yeah.
But if you paid us a good amount and paid us on time, I am sure that at least 60% or more of the actors we have would begin to be seen as more responsible.
Yeah.
Because now you can budget your money and you realize, okay, if I budget this amount goes to rent, this to food, this to school fees and all, there's this amount to run, the rest of my life, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I feel about it, yes. But we do need to be paid a lot more.
Yes.
Let me say this, I suppose the first time I'll be saying this thing on public forum is, now this is the way I see it. Kenya has a lot of money. Let people stop thinking that Kenya is a poor country.
It's not.
I don't know how they deal with these things in terms of World Bank, IMF, and how they rank people and what. Kenya is not a poor country. Okay?
Yeah.
Besides which, when you hear of these billions of shillings that seem to go missing or whatever, and yet the country is still running and we're all still alive. There must be a lot of money. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, Kenyans as a whole, we are our own worst enemy. Sorry if I've offended anybody. This is what I mean. We actually do have a reputation of stealing. I'm sorry. You give somebody 10 million shillings and expect them to put it into some kind of a blockbuster mini movie, because 10 million is not a lot to shoot a movie. And the person will immediately go use 6 million to buy a plot and build a house home squared up country. You understand? And then the little money that's left, you start struggling, and then you don't really get the best because you're not paying people. So really, who right now in Kenya would want to take their money and then give it to a fellow Kenyan to do whatever, even if it's not production? And in your head, you think, but the first thing this person is going to do is steal that money. That money is not going to do what it's supposed. So who do we now start convincing to even give those amounts of money to production? We need to, first of all, start being honest.
Yeah.
We need integrity. Integrity is very important. And in the film production, you're not going to get rich overnight. Believe you me.
No.
You'll start getting rich 10, if you're lucky, 10 years, sometimes 20 years after you have invested. You understand? Unfortunately, from what I see, I'm not saying I know everything, but most Kenyans I start something, by the end of this month, I want to be rich. First of all, that doesn't happen.
It can't happen.
Maybe you stole or you did a corrupt deal, not pointing fingers at anyone. Yes, then that way, yes, it might work. But surely if you're going to do business, or the business of film, let's put it that way, you really have to be patient.
Yeah.
In terms of making profits. Because first of all, you've got to distribute your movie or your product all over the world before you even start thinking about breaking even,
Yeah.
And we're definitely not going to break even in Kenya. In Kenya, how many mainstream TV stations do we have? 5? 6? Now that we have TV 47?
Will they even pay on time or pay a certain amount of money you want?
Okay, I'm not here to advertise anybody's network. But if there's one network that pays, even though, like I say, we could still be paid a lot more. But if there's a network that will pay and pay you on time, as far as I'm concerned, Citizen.
Yeah.
Because we can't really complain ever since we started Mother-in-Law. Of course, we'd love to be paid a lot more money. But if there's one thing that you are assured with Citizen, there's a particular date on which they pay, and they will pay on that date. That really does help, because whatever little you have, at least I know on that date I have
And
this
it's
amount,
coming.
I can do something with it. Yep. But everybody else, particularly, let's just say performing arts as a whole, man, sometimes you don't even get paid.
Yeah. You've just talked about your family, proudly about your 7 children.
Yes.
What have you learned raising them?
Oh, wow, what an
Or
interesting
just
question.
having a big family? Because
No.
that looks like a huge family.
Yeah, to outsiders, it looks like a huge family. And I remember once I was with someone, I did mention that I have got 7 children. The eldest one, who doesn't live with me, but I'm still responsible for. I don't know. When I'm with them, I don't find it to be a large family, actually. And sometimes we're there, myself, my wife, and all of the children there. And I can see, wow, we take up quite a bit of space here. Everybody here just had one visitor. This house would be really full.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't find the children many because they're mine. I think that's what it is. Then again, I don't have, like I mentioned before, a blanket method of dealing with my children. Which one are you? Oh, my eldest one is called Esther. Okay? Oh, now I'm dealing with Esther. I'll deal with Esther as Esther. Second born is called Benaiah. Oh, I will deal with Benaiah as, because they have two totally different characters.
Yeah.
Just because you're all born from the same parents, live under the same roof, doesn't mean you all have the same character. So, I don't know, and maybe I shouldn't see it this way, but I kind of find it exciting, day by day, raising these children, because one day somebody's mind will be totally, I'm so down today, I don't even know. Then another child comes skipping literally on the air, and they're very happy, and so you have to know how to deal with each one individually, but then again you have to balance the entire family. You understand? And I don't know how many people have experienced this, and then you see outside of your children, then there's your partner. Depending on if you're male or female, then there's your husband or your wife. And believe you me, dealing with my wife is so totally different from dealing with the children as a whole or any child individually.
Secret to long marriages?
Nobody has the secret. Everybody has to have their own individual secret. You've got to figure out how it is that you are going to handle your particular marriage. Because like I was saying, everybody has a different character, and everybody's character is developed by how they grew up, you know. So what I would say, and please don't look for me in the streets, beat me up if you don't agree with this, but I personally believe that the larger responsibility in the marriage, in terms of the atmosphere at home and that kind of thing, actually falls on the man, if you ask me. That's just me now, okay? They say, nyumba ni ya mama. So one develops this attitude of, okay, fine, now whatever
happens in the
house, ni mama. And in many houses, the man is rarely around, okay? Maybe I spend too much time in the house, I don't know. But I will be very honest and tell you that I had an extremely volatile marriage for many, many years, okay? I did not have anyone to advise me. I was never advised by my father. My father did, no uncles, or no one really tried to help me out and tell me, you know, when you're married, it's like this, it's like that, and what might have you. And I'll tell you, my marriage was very, very volatile, like I said. And I had this attitude, now this woman, your mama, hey, man, if this woman could only just kwa nini huyu mama, oh, this woman. And then one day, which I wish I had done like 10, 15 years earlier, I sat down and I thought to myself, okay, if my wife is not going to do things differently, then let me do things differently.
Wow.
The way I normally approach things, maybe I need to find a different approach. So slowly but surely I started to observe. I thought to myself, how do I behave when I enter the house? I'd never really thought about it. Then I thought one day, how do I behave when I enter the house? Am I pleasant? Am I angry? Do I bring the pressures of what I've been through? What actually do I do? So once I observed that, I thought to myself, okay, let me see if I enter the house differently, whether it will have a different impact. So what I thought was, when I enter my house from work or wherever, the first thing I need to do is count to 10. Don't talk, don't react, don't do anything. Just count to 10. And the first time I did that, and I counted to 10 in my head, these things that jumped at me, when you get to that, these are children, man, they're going to leave things out of place, you know, toys here, there, things thrown around. Now, you come home, you're tired, you've been through whatever, you see that, first impulse, start shouting. I'm angry. Why is that? Why? And if you start like that, it's likely to
escalate.
Exactly. So that's why I thought, let me just try. And so there was a time I got to the house and I entered the gate, and sure enough, things are everywhere. So I said, I'm going to count to 10. Let me count to 10. So I just stood there, just inside the gate, counting 1, 2, up to 10. By the time I got to 10, I then looked at these things. It's like, and I got to the house.
Inside the house.
And I get inside the house, and once again things are upside down. Again, I think, okay, count to 10 again. Now, it's tedious. Let me tell you, when you first try to do it, it becomes tedious, and you're always thinking like, every time I count, each number takes so long before I get to 10. But the effect of doing it got to me. And I kept thinking, wait a minute.
You've not reacted.
Maybe I should have done this years ago, because I've not reacted badly now. You understand? Yeah. And let me tell you, by the time you're counting to 10, by the time you hit 3, 1, 2 of your children, they come and jump in you with that joy of seeing you, and then that is the emotion that takes over. But if you enter the house and start shouting, your child has no opportunity to come to you happily and hug you and make you feel better.
Yes.
So slowly but surely, I began to change the way I react to things, the way I do things initially. I will tell you, my marriage is not perfect by a long shot, but I feel it's a lot better than it used to be.
Wow.
Now, you're a lady. I don't know. Please don't object to what I'm about to say, or other ladies. God gave us certain characters, okay? It's a character of a man, it's a character of a woman.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the word of God says, man and woman were created equal. Now that thing goes through my head every day. Because if God created us equal, okay, then that means, I'm not really above her. We can't actually literally be on the same level. But if we're created equal, then there's a certain amount of leeway. See, I expect a certain amount of leeway, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, if we're created equal, then if I expect leeway, I have to give it as well. Things like I say, I wish I had thought about 20, I don't know how many years earlier. You understand? And then again, and please don't object.
I am not objecting.
Okay. But also, not reacting to my wife immediately. I don't know if it is natural as a result of the way God made us that ladies nag their husbands. I don't know if it's a matter of familiarity, because they say familiarity breeds contempt. And when you say contempt, I know people take it as such a terrible word. But, contempt is like, man, I take you for granted. Okay, so he's here. So what? He looks the same like he did 20 years ago. So, what am I supposed to do? Celebrate, jump up and down just because he came home? I don't know if that's really what goes through anyone's head. I don't know. I'm just imagining. You understand?
Yeah.
But one thing that happened is I stopped reacting to my wife immediately. Which is what men do. You immediately say, but, and let me tell you how it happened. I got home very, very, very exhausted one day. Completely exhausted. And all I could think about was the bed. So I got into the house, and I don't know whether she was nagging or whatever, what men call nagging or whatever. And I just couldn't take it, so I didn't say anything, and I flopped on the bed, woke up in the morning realizing I didn't even change, didn't even get into the covers or anything.
Just blacked out.
I thought, hey, yeah, okay. Anyway, I remember there's something she wanted to say yesterday, so, yeah, let me get ready and see what she has to say. She hasn't said anything. Really? Why hasn't she said anything? So then I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to ask her because I don't want to get her started. Then it hit me. I thought, oh, okay, maybe I should ignore her a bit more often. Not real ignore, but maybe give it time. Don't react. Just the count to 10 thing. Maybe that thing really works more than I would think. And yeah, There's sometimes I can tell, okay, she's saying that on purpose to get on my nerves and whatever, but then I don't react. So like I say, it's not a perfect relationship, but I do prefer the way the marriage is now as opposed to the way it was before, because I did take the attitude of, if I'm being called the head of the house, let me try and control the atmosphere in the house.
You changed your ways.
Yes, I did, yeah. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I know I have my faults and there are many.
As we conclude,
yes,
what life hack will you give an actor?
Wow, now you want a brief or expansive?
Give it all.
Okay, first of all, life hack to an actor.
Yes.
First and foremost, more than anything else, believe in yourself. You have to believe you are the best. Because acting takes the best. Look at them in Hollywood. Somebody who's also won an Oscar or who's also known as the best can do a supporting role. Some come, do a role, man, 15 minutes movie, poop, gone. But the point is that the reason they were able to do that and do it well is because they believe in themselves. They know they are the best.
Yeah.
Someone once asked me, but we can't all be the best. I said, yes, we can. Because if I'm the best and you're the best and somebody else there is the best and we come together to do something, now you just imagine what's going to come out of that. 3 of the best, man, that it will be amazing.
Yeah.
So that would be one hack for sure. Please don't come to a set or a stage, a rehearsal, an audition or anything. Will I? Can I? Maybe. If you still have those questions, don't come. Please don't come. You're wasting your time. You're wasting our time.
Yeah.
But if you come there knowing you are the best, you'll be given a brief, you'll be given some sides, you'll be able to go out there, look at it, and come deliver it in the audition. You understand? Yeah. Now, once you've got the role, it only improves because you're the best. Now come and, yes, give your best to this role that you have been given. Okay? And just deliver the best every time. It'll make you tired. You get exhausted.
Yeah.
But at the same time, going back to the word of God, is that not what God told us? Because of what we did in the Garden of Eden, he said, now you will work until you will sweat to earn. And so that's what I believe. There you will be justified to say, yep, I really sweated. Wow. Because if you don't leave the set tired, then
what were you doing?
Yeah, exactly. What did you do while you were there? That's one hack. The other hack I would give, particularly for TV and film, people, actors out there, please, when you come to set with your lines. Even if you don't have your lines in character, just come with your lines. The rest they can work on set. You understand? That's why you have a director. That's why you have a first AD. That's why you've got all these other people around you, script supervisors and who might have you. They're there to help you. But they cannot help you if you come to the set blank.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with scene 2. Yeah? Ati?
What
scene
do you
2.
mean?
Scene 2. Scene 2 ni nini? What do you mean scene 2 ni nini? Didn't you read your script? That's the other hack for actors. Please read your script again and again and again. You can never read your script too many times. Because I've noticed that about many Kenyan actors. They're always asking me, you're still reading your script? I'm like, yeah. You don't know your lines? I said, no, actually I have my lines perfectly and my character. So why are you reading your script? I said, because there's always something to discover. Every time you read it again, so long as your mind is open, you'll discover something, something new, something. And particularly, when you're learning your lines, there's this expression that I could never understand when I was growing up. Read between the lines. Okay, what is being said is right there, right? In black and white. But what about in pink? What is not being said? Because if you can pick up what is not being said and put that into your acting, wow, it becomes so wholesome. Richer. You understand? Because let's say, for example, okay, you've just been through a very torturous, mentally straining situation. I walk in, I'm supposedly supposed to be your long lost boyfriend disappeared 2 years ago, never said anything, never contacted, and then suddenly here he is, just turns up at the end of this awful day that you have had. That will determine. Okay?
Yeah.
Your awful day will determine how you receive him. But not only your bad day. What have you been thinking for the last 2 years that he's not been here? What has been going through your head? What has it done to you? Has it changed the way you react to people or whatever? And all that, just the way you will look at this person, the way you will, that first, now that is reading between the lines.
Yeah.
That people that I didn't understand as I was growing up, and a lot of people don't understand. It's more about what is not said than what is said. You understand? That's one hack. Maybe I should stop there. I don't know, because I can go on. And okay, the other hack, if I may. And I was in a certain production, and we were on set and getting ready to shoot, and my fellow actor didn't quite have the lines, and also was getting the lines right there. And I said, by the way, if you learn these lines in character, you learn them a lot faster. The actor was very quick to look at me and say, I don't do it like that. Me, first of all, I get my lines, then I work on the character later. I was like, whoa, okay. Wow, since we're not here to fight, it's okay. Let's just do it your way, no problem. And I'm telling you, that scene, by the time we were saying, okay, cut, scene, it was flat. Flat, 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 flat. Let me just tell you. Because there's nothing like, oh, let me get the lines for... No! Learn your lines in character. Man, if you're supposed to be crying, learn your lines as you cry. Somebody calls you in the house and you turn and you've got all these tears and then, whoa, why are you crying? Oh, no. So it's okay, I was just learning my lines. Yeah. What is it? It'll confuse people, but I'm telling you, this idea that actors have of, and it's our educational system, cramming, and then I'll get the character on set. You are not going to get that character on set. If you did not start from day one, I read my script. I am the pastor. I've read the script just to understand the story.
Yeah.
I need to come back, not immediately, even if it's tomorrow, and read the script again, and now understand the pastor.
Yeah.
What is the pastor going through and why? You understand?
Yeah.
Once you figure that out and you start learning your lines, you learn them so much quicker if now you learn them as per what is the pastor going through, this, that. So even as you learn your line, it's like, instead of, why are you calling me? Then you come to the set, you'll say, why are you calling me? As opposed to, why are you calling me? Or, who knows? It doesn't have to be that. It could be, why are you calling me? Yeah, whichever one it is. But it is determined by all these other things. Like I'm saying, read between the lines. Learn your lines in character. Let me just say, for example, anger. It says here, pastor gets angry, presuming. Is anger generic? Is there such a thing as generic anger? Okay, you're angry. Why? Who are you angry with? When are you angry with them? Let's take, for example, you will not get angry the same way, for example, you told your son to do something and he didn't do it. As opposed to being the boss at work, I told something to do something and they didn't do it. You'll still get angry, but you will not get angry the same way. And these are the things you have to work out as you're learning.
Even levels to anger.
Exactly. Yeah. Even the levels. You can express anger and you don't shout. You don't, and it comes out very low, but it just chills somebody's blood. You understand? These are the things I'm talking about. One of the acting hacks. We really need to do more of that in our Kenyan acting. I'm not saying we are not good actors. Abroad, they have the advantage of having the academies, the workshops, the this, the that. By the time you get out of university, if that's where you've specialized, wow, you're ready. You understand? Yeah. Whereas here, we are mostly using our natural talent. You understand?
Yeah.
And then on set, I don't know why in Kenya we don't have the time, or people don't want to give the time, or people get perturbed. They get angry when you start trying to correct them. And I keep on trying to tell people, when somebody tries to tell you something, please stop getting angry. It is only somebody trying to help the entire production to be better. No one is criticizing you. No one is telling you you did wrong. I'm sure this is a human thing, but since I don't know many humans from around the world, I know Kenyans. Kenyans as a whole are extremely sensitive. Trying to tell somebody, oh, that was good, but the moment you say but,
the mood changes immediately.
No. We're just making it better. I just said it is good, but which means there's just something we want to tweak.
Spice.
Yes, exactly. So don't start getting angry or feeling like, oh, now I didn't get it right. No, be open. Listen to what this person has said. It may help, it may not. But don't already block yourself from it. Sorry, even before the person has said what they have to say. You understand? So those are 1, 2, 3 hacks I could give for now. The main one being believe in yourself. You have to believe you are the best. Okay? For men, kifua mbele.
Arabron, thank you so much. I think we need a part 2 podcast.
No problem. 2, 3, 10. I'm ready. Yes.
Okay. So any project you have, you come again and then we expound on.
Oh, yes,
take
definitely.
it now from where we are today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love that. I mean, I love talking about acting and the different aspects of it. I mean, I have a lot, I'm sure, that I could still learn.
Yes.
And okay, we've already said goodbye, but I did some episodes of Selena. And when we went to a certain location to shoot, there was some actors who were shooting before me. And I accidentally heard somebody say, oh, washaanza kushoot wako huko kwa garage. And I went running. And somebody stopped me and asked me, where are you running to? I said, no. I want to go see those guys acting. They asked me, why? I said, no. I want to see what I can learn. And they were like, you? You mean you want to go there to advise them? Or I said, no. I want to go and learn. They're wondering, is he okay? And they didn't say anything. And I could tell what was going on. But my interest was to get to that particular set and watch what they were doing. Do you know that you can always learn? Just because I've been there for many, many years doing this thing doesn't mean I cannot learn from somebody who's been doing it for 2 years. You understand? Because everybody is different. There's always something you will pick up from someone. You understand?
Yes.
Yes, I may have a larger grasp of knowledge of what we're doing, but there may be a tiny little something somewhere that always wondered, what can I do about that? And oh, boom. There it
Someone
is.
is giving it to you.
Exactly. And they've only been here for 2 years. You understand? So that's another thing. We must always respect each other in terms of our acting and what we're doing on set, offset, and what might have you. Don't look down on somebody who's an extra because you're playing a main role. How do you know 2-3 years from now, maybe you can't get cast in a main role anymore, and that person who you look down as an extra is the one who's getting all the main roles you would have got.
Yeah.
You understand? So let's just all respect each other. The guy who was an extra today might be your director 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Because when you meet them, you have no idea which direction they're going in. Maybe this guy is an extra today, but he's studying producing. So you look down on him, ukamdharau, you treated him badly, talk to him badly. The day he's a producer and you decide to come for an audition, first thing, next. You'll be like, but I didn't even get, next.
Wow. Ooh. Until next time,
yes.
It's bye for now.
Thanks a lot. Bye. And it's been a pleasure to be here.
Karibu tena. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. Please subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.